creative figures that must be understood in the Quran. We believe that they existed, that they are real, and that the story is not a mythology, it's not a narrative. Adam alayhi salam is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from water and clay, as we all know, which modern science has added nothing to that statement. Nothing whatsoever. Modern science has added nothing to that statement, because you can take apart this human creature and you will find water and earth. That is what we're made out of. From it we came, and to it we return. That's reality. So the Quranic is not pre-scientific. It is science at its most accurate, descriptive state. And I say that because it speaks in a language that not some arcane group of scientists can understand, but it is open for everyone to understand. Adam alayhi salam is created as a Khalifa. And there are different stories that the Mufassirin relate. Iblis, Imam al-Qurtubi says that he was an angel, that he was in the highest gathering. Other of the Mufassirin say that he was not, that he was from the jinn, but he was allowed in to the angelic realm. But the point is that Iblis was a knower. He knew Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He had tawheed. And he was worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he was actually sent to the earth to subdue, according to Imam al-Razi, to subdue a rebellion of the jinn on the earth. He came back and he was told that Allah is placing a Khalifa in the earth, which was Adam alayhi salam. And he was told, when the angels were brought forth in the presence of Adam alayhi salam, they were told to bow down to Adam. And they bowed down. They went into prostration, sajadu. Now this is not shirk. The angels do not commit shirk. They were not bowing down in worship. This is called sajda to tishrif. It's a sajda of honoring, and it was something that was done in the pre-Islamic times. The Prophet ﷺ abrogated it. His sharia prohibited it, and he did not allow it. A man may sajda to him, and he prohibited it. He didn't say you're a mushrik. He knew what he was doing. He was honoring him because the man had tawheed. He was a student of the Prophet ﷺ. He studied with, and the first thing the Prophet ﷺ taught was La ilaha illallah. He didn't teach anything before that. That was the first message of our Prophet ﷺ, La ilaha illallah. And if you understand that, you cannot. If you understand that correctly, you cannot commit shirk. That is what removes a person from the boundaries of the mushrikeen. So they were commanded to bow down, not as mushrikeen, but commanded by Allah to honor Adam in that way. All of them bowed down immediately. And we know there's a discourse that took place before this when Allah told them that He was inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. It was not they were not opposing Allah's wisdom in placing a khalifa. They were attempting to understand because of what they'd previously seen done by the jinn on the earth. They were making an analogy that these people will do the same. And Allah said, I know what you don't know. All of them bowed down except Iblis. Istakbar. Iblis was arrogant. Now if you look, what is the illness there? What is the disease? The fundamental disease is envy. This is the disease of Iblis. It's envy. Now, I want to look at a very interesting explanation on that note. This was written by a Danish man. Envy is concealed admiration. An admirer who senses that devotion cannot make him happy will choose to become envious of that which he admires. He will speak a different language, and in this language he will now declare that that which he really admires is a thing of no consequence. Something foolish, illusory, perverse, and high-flown. Admiration is happy self-abandon. Envy, unhappy self-assertion. I think it's a very profound definition of envy. Because what he's saying there, you see, Iblis knows this is a creation of Allah. And Iblis knows Allah. Allah doesn't make some, مَا خَرَقْتُ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. Allah, مَا خَرَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. You did not create this in vain. This is not vanity. This is not some foolish thing. Allah did not create Adam as some foolish creation. And Iblis knows this. But Iblis thinks that in admiring Adam alayhi salam, he will not be happy. He will not be happy. In fact, he becomes angry because he's envious. Hasad is the disease of Iblis. He is envious. And he says, you created him from mud. I'm created from fire, from air and fire. I'm superior to him. This is saying, he's a thing of no consequence. I'm a thing of importance. Why are you having them bow down to him and not to me? This is very important, and inshallah I want to return to this, especially with Qarun. Now, at that point, Iblis is cast out from the inner circle, from the mala. And Iblis is told, he says, give me time, give me respite. You see, give me respite. And then he tells Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he makes an oath, in the same way that you led me astray, just as you have led me astray, bima aghwaytani. He blames his ghawaya on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He blames his going astray, and this is the nature of the envious one. He blames the other. And this is important when I get back to understanding the present condition of the Muslims. He blames the other. And he says, you did this to me. And then he says, so now, this is how foolish Iblis is. You led me astray, and now I'm going to lead them astray. You see, spite. And he promises to do that. Except those of ikhlas, the people of ikhlas, and not mukhlisin. Mukhlasin is a passive form, people of ikhlas with tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, he promises Allah, you won't find them giving thanks, shukr. He promises. He doesn't want them to give thanks. So in Iblis we have two very important qualities. One is ingratitude. He's an ingrate. And the other is envy. He's envious. So this is important in understanding our past, because this relates very profoundly to the human condition and to fundamental causes for strife and grief within the human circumstances that we find ourselves in. Now, at the other spectrum, this is a more negative in terms of unseen influences. There are other unseen influences. So you have shaitan as an unseen factor in the human situation. You have other factors involved here. One, and the most primary, is the fact of revelation. The fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen out of His bounty to send human beings to communicate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's intentions to His creation. Now if you look at this, it's very important to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His intentions to His creation, what He is telling, what His irada is for His creation, where His rida, His contentment lies, He sends human beings, not angels, human beings. And He sends them amongst the people. And He sends them with the language that they understand. There are people that eat. There are people that sleep. There are people that have human needs. They are not from the angelic realm. They are human beings. And Allah has sent them continuously since the beginning of the human condition until the last one was sent over 1400 years ago, who is our Prophet ﷺ, and we have the honor of being from his community. So revelation here is guidance from Allah. There is an unseen factor which is misguiding creation, and there is an unseen factor which is creating or bringing into existence guidance for the human condition. So you have both of these factors. You have an unseen element that is misguiding, and you have an unseen element that is guiding. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises